What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Conjurer. Yes, indeed. How about that? Conjurer making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from MAT. Yeah, MAT. And this is MAT's prioritized request for the month of April for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, MAT. Hope you enjoy the show, man. MAT wanted to see me react to this song by Conjurer called Cracks in the Pyre. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Conjurer, shocking, and the video has 2,700 views. Not gonna get you there, sorry. Now look, I'm sure the song is fine, I'm sure the video is fine, I'm just saying 2,700 views, it's not gonna get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Cracks in the Pyre. That's all I got. I have no idea if this is the right band or not. Look, this is the link that MAT gave me, so if we're in the wrong spot, don't blame me. Blame MAT. Like I said, this is the video he gave me. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Oh boy. Okay. I like the 6/8. I like that. 1, 2, 3. First of all, okay. At the beginning of the song, much slower than we are now. We had that tempo change. That was definite, but that's all that changed was tempo. We've been in 6/8 the whole time. It's just we started out a slower 6/8, and now we've kicked into a significantly, noticeably faster 6/8, but we're still in 6/8 nonetheless. I always like songs that are in 6/8. I always do. I love that 6/8 feel, especially with the pickups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ba-dum. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2. Those and ones. I like those pickups. I have always been a fan of it. Almost, I mean, it's not a shuffle feel, obviously, but it almost gives it a little bit of a shuffle feel because of that pickup. Very jazz. I like that. I definitely like that. The chordal progression makes sense. I like the resolution, especially to the third. I like that before we go to the, well, on the first half we go to the fifth, but on the second half we go to the fourth, which is interesting. The guitar tone sounds good. It's thick, it's crunchy. Bass sounds good, drums sound good. I got no problem with the instrumentals whatsoever. Vocally, I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of pure grit and growl. I will say, it sounds like they're using proper technique. It sounds like he is. I don't know if there's two vocalists or one vocalist doing both vocal styles, but in either case, it's being done well. It sounds like proper technique is being used. I hope so. Otherwise, they're going to have a very short vocal career because they're going to blow their vocal cords out. If they're not using proper technique. If they are, no worries, no problems. I've just never been a fan, especially since there's no subharmonics work. There's no under melodic tone in those grit and growl vocals. It's pure grit and growl, and I've never been a fan of that ever. Yeah, that's just it's just over the top for me. It's just too much. But musically, instrumentally, it sounds fine. It sounds good. Nothing I would say is mind-blowing. But I mean, it sounds fine as far as the instrumentals go. So let's keep going here. Interesting, switching up to an 11. Now 11/8, I don't think so. I think it's 6/8. 5/8. The reason I'm saying 6/8 and 5/8 is at the end of the first measure of 6/8, they put that accent on the downbeat of one of the next phrase. They make it really stand out. Just make it to feel, you can feel that separation between the 6/8 and the 5/8 through that accent. So that's why I'm saying 6/8 and 5/8. I could be wrong. It could be 11/8 very easily, but I mean, I don't think it is. It's interesting. Necessary? I don't know. I don't know if I would go as far as say necessary, but it's being well done. So I can't knock it. Let's keep going here. Now we're back into 6/8 again. Straight 6/8. Play. That's 6. Yeah, okay, we're still 6/8. And where we're gonna go. Okay, the sound of the wood burning, I understand that part, but all the ethereal voices and stuff, I don't understand that part at all. It doesn't make any sense. The burning wood, the snapping of the wood burning, yeah, I get that. I understand that. And that would have been fine on its own, but all the ethereal crap, it's not needed. It's absolutely not needed. I got mixed feelings on this. There are certain things I like, there are certain things I don't like. Yeah, I need to think about this. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Conjurer with Cracks in the Pyre. This was a request from MAT. And this was actually MAT's prioritized request for the month of April for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, MAT. I hope you enjoyed the show, man. I had mixed feelings on this. And I had to think about it for a while. When I say a while, I mean more than just like, 4 or 5 minutes. I spent about 10 minutes thinking about this. And we ended up about where I had a feeling we were going to end up. It was actually a little bit higher than I thought we were going to end up. I'll explain everything, I promise. But let's start off with the score first, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 6.6. Yeah, 6.6. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 6.6. What does that mean? Well, a 6.6 equates to to a pretty good scale rating. It's pretty good. It gets 3 out of 5 stars, and believe it or not, it equates out to a B letter grade, not a B minus. Close. A 6.5 is the top of the B minuses, so it's at the very bottom of the Bs, but it's still getting a B nonetheless. So there you go, a 6.6, pretty good scale rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Now, how did I come to this score? So glad you asked. There were things about the song that I thought were really good. And then there were things about the song that I thought were just okay. And then there were things about the song that I was personally not a fan of at all. We're going to go over everything, I promise. First of all, the 6/8. I like that. I like it when songs are in 6/8. I've always been a big fan of 6/8 time signature and 6/8 feel. Especially, believe it or not, especially in slower songs. I've always believed that 6/8 really lends itself well to songs that are at a slower tempo. Speaking of tempo, their usage of tempo change was interesting. I will absolutely give it that. Sometimes the jump was noticeable, like extremely noticeable. Like you didn't have to think about it. You just immediately went, oh, there it is. We're going faster. There were also times, especially towards the end of the song, where they were doing some tempo changes that were so subtle that I almost didn't catch it. I didn't catch it immediately. It wasn't until they slowed down even more where I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're not at the same tempo we were. Hold on. Okay, we've stepped down. We stepped down twice. Oh, we're stepping down a third time. Okay. Interesting. So, like I said, some were big, some were subtle. And in any case, it was done well and with purpose. It wasn't just randomly thrown in there. No, every time they would change tempo, there was a reason for it. And I will absolutely give credit where credit's due for that. I think that's some pretty smart songwriting. That interlude section, if I'm being honest with you, I think that was my favorite part of the entire song. For several reasons. Number one, the change in approach, the change in tone, going to a cleaner guitar tone as opposed to, thick and distorted guitars. I thought that was a nice change up. And to be honest with you, to some extent, it was needed, because if we had kept going with the same guitar tone through the entire song, especially with the direction that we were going with the songwriting and the chordal progression, we might have ended up in some doldrums, because it was starting to get pretty repetitious. But that breakdown did happen, that interlude did happen. Most importantly, I know this is going to sound rude, but this is just how I personally feel. The lead vocalist decided to shut his yap and let the instruments do their part and literally take the lead. And I appreciated that. It was a nice break from the pure grit and growl we heard. I have said this time and time again on the channel. I am not a fan of pure grit and growl. I will fully acknowledge that whoever the vocalist or vocalists were, I can't tell if there was one or two, but whichever the case may be, the vocal technique, it sounded like they were using proper technique. So they're not going to blow their vocal cords out, which is a good thing, which equals longevity for a vocalist, which is extremely important when doing grit and growl vocals. If you're not using proper technique, you're going to have a very short lifespan when it comes to your singing career. I will fully acknowledge that proper technique was being utilized. I will fully acknowledge that what he did from a pure grit and growl standpoint sounded just fine. Me personally, I've never been a fan of it. I'm going to be honest with you folks, I will never be a fan of pure grit and growl vocals. I like it when grit and growl vocals are tempered with, there's one of two ways to do it. One, you split them. You have pure grit and growl vocal along with clean melodic singing, and you have a nice split between the two. That's one way. Second way, do your grit and growl and have melodic undertones mixed in with the grit and growl. I like that, and I have no problem with that, and I can appreciate that. But when it's pure grit and growl, I am not a fan, and this was absolutely pure grit and growl. It's hard for me to listen to that. It really is, and appreciate it, and more than appreciate it, enjoy it, which I honestly didn't enjoy. Instrumentally, everything sounded fine. Everything sounded good. I'm going to be honest, it got repetitious. It absolutely did. Luckily, we did have some things happening within the structure of the song, like when we did the change up to the 11 section. Now, some people can say that was 11/8. Personally, I feel like it was 6/5 because we had that accent on the downbeat of what would be 7. It came after the 6, right? So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3. That's how I felt it. That's how it sounded to me. There was that very clear separation between the downbeat of 6 and the downbeat of either 7 or 1. I took it as 1. There was a very clear separation there. So I took it as 6/5. That was nice. It helped. It definitely helped the song from becoming too stale. But at the end of the day, it was the same chordal progression over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it did get to be a bit dull dramatic. It did become like we were just spinning around the bowl, or we were just stand still, dead still, and we weren't really going anywhere. Though that helped. That definitely helped keep me interested. But other than that, and between that and the changes in tempo kept me from becoming completely bored. But other than that, it really didn't do anything for me, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, it was still a pretty good song overall. It's well written, it's well organized, and I will give it all the credit in the world for being that. But at the end of the day, it did get repetitive. So that's how I came up to that 6.6. It's pretty good. Okay, would I ever listen to this again? If I'm being honest, folks, no. And mainly because of the vocals. That really just kind of put the final nail in the coffin for me as to whether I would listen to the song again or not. Now, if there was an instrumental version of the song, yeah, I might listen to it. I might. I don't know how much it would help, but it's possible. Having the vocals removed may help it become a little more digestible by me. So anyway, 6.6, that's where we're at. That's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap this up in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got a 6.6, which is a pretty good scale rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.